Hare Krishna, thank you for coming today. Today on this very auspicious day of the Kirpa Disappearance Day Festival at Melbourne. I thought the appearance, well, it's not actually, celebrating the appearance day of the Buddha Mountain today, is that correct? The actual date is already passed. When is Mother's Day? Tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow.
I'm going today, I'm going to go tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Today is a very auspicious occasion when we're all gathered here today to bless, to honor, and to participate in the Nama Diksha of two of the devotees in your community here today. So I'm going to read you something from Chaitanya Charitamrita, a little unusual for an initiation ceremony, but because it's Ramananda's Tiruvara, I felt recognition should be given as Ramananda. In one sense, is every sense, is our spiritual master. Of course, in the spiritual realm, described differently in different places, but usually it's understood that he is known as Vishaka. He's also stands as Arjuna, Krishna's friend Arjuna. So he's taken that role as our spiritual master. So it's a very significant day. He was also the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, indirectly, of course, he's Lord Chaitanya, the spiritual master of everyone. Lord Chaitanya orchestrated that Ramananda would take the position of his own teacher. The kirtan will start a little bit later. Restrain yourselves a little bit. I'm really very excited. So Ramananda Roy, you may know in the 8th chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a very nice description there of Ramananda Roy's Lord Chaitanya asking questions, and there's a long story, but basically speaking, they met at Kuror on the banks of the Godavari. And there, Ramananda Roy, who was born in a Kayastha family. Kayastha families previously were considered to be within the realm of Shudras, not considered to be elevated by caste. However, he was a very learned personality and a great devotee of the Lord. King Prataparuta had given him the position of governor. He was very eligible. So castes are very good managers, even though they may not be high in terms of caste. And Lord Chaitanya, not considering these things, I mean, the basic teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the foundation of their, you could say, in this regards anyway, Naham Vipro Achanarapati Napi Vaishora Shukra Naham Bhanina Jigriyapatir Novanasto Yakira Kim Tu Projan Yakira Paramananda Pranamitabha Gopi Bhakti Dasa Dasa and Dasa. Lord Chaitanya sang this verse in front of Lord Jagannath at the Jagannath Rath Yatra. And of course this was basically his whole teaching that we're not a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya or Shudra. Neither are we Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, or Sannyasi. But we identify ourselves as the eternal servants of the maid servants of Lord Shri Krishna. That's our position. So this was taught by Lord Chaitanya in his dealings with Ramananda Roy. He accepted him as his teacher. In the highest, you could say, he was on all levels, he was asking questions of Ramananda Roy. And Ramananda Roy was giving the perfect answers according. At the beginning of their conversation, Ramananda Roy Lord Chaitanya asked, what is the perfection of life? So he was about to achieve that perfection, Krishna Paramartha. In his initiation, of all sorts, even all the various samskaras, which are authorized samskaras for human beings, are actually for this purpose, to actually elevate our consciousness to become eligible or say, ready for the awakening of Krishna Paramatma Mahan, or love for Krishna. In of themselves, they're only of value to the extent that they're serving a purpose, otherwise they're Shrama Evi Kevalam. They're meant to awaken our love of Krishna, dormant love of Krishna. Immediately that may not be apparent, but that's the objective goal. If we follow properly, and that's the goal. It will prepare us so that the natural dawning of our love for Krishna will awaken in our heart. Initiation is a major step in this direction. Nam diksha, mantra diksha, whatever dikshas they may be, even the marriage, samskaras, vivana samskaras, everything is very, very important with that goal in mind. As long as the goal is in mind, it is of value, it's an event. Even if it's not, if the society has that structure to bring us gradually to that point, then we will unknowingly also advance in that direction. But this particular one, we hope that the candidates today are familiar with what they're doing. You know what's happening today. It's not a marriage ceremony. Already married. This is a Nam diksha, and it means literally initiation of the holy name, already chanting the holy names. It's been going on for many years. You can remember this community for many years. I don't know how many years. 6 years? How many years? Huh? 7 years. And they attended Bhakti, Shastri, Bhakti, whatever it is. I mean, one of the opportunities to enter deeper into the understanding that why we are here. We're not just here to be here, or to do something. We're here for that very purpose. And the Guru Disciple course, which is a wonderful course being taught by Temple Present here in Hariru Guru and others. Okay. All these various things are there to prepare us so that we have a little bit more understanding of what we're doing. Not that we have full understanding, that's a realization that comes in time. At least we have the foundation understanding. So we can make this next step. This next step within the realm of devotional Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, in the stage of sadhana, the stage of bhajana kriya, practicing devotional service, Rupa Goswami has emphasized the need of Guru Padashaya, taking shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Because there's questions people may put forth as to what that is, but basically speaking, Prabhupada's definition of a bona fide spiritual master, he's in the line of bona fide disciplic succession, acting on behalf of the bona fide spiritual master, following the bona fide spiritual master. And then one is thus considered to be, to different degrees you could say, but one is a bona fide spiritual master eligible to connect others officially to the disciplic succession. An official process, that's a formality at least, is this particular ceremony today. But the real essence of initiation is Divya, is let's say, the initiation of transcendental knowledge within our heart. The heart may be very covered, so the practice of sadhana bhakti is to clean the heart, to purify the heart. And the essential activity of sadhana bhakti is the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. It's not only that, it's also the sadhya or the goal of our life, but it's specifically in the realm of sadhana bhakti, the chanting of the holy name is our primary sadhana. Everything else must go on, but it should be accompanied by the holy chanting of the holy name. Which is what Swami emphasizes as much in Prabhupada. And today is that official acceptance of that responsibility. It's not just a matter of getting a name, getting beads, making some vows, it's there also. But it's really like in the heart. We're accepting our responsibility now to cultivate pure chanting of the holy name. Now back to Ramananda Roy, who took this amazing role of being, let's say, basically almost like a Sikh guru in relationship to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm just going to read the verse now. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Gauranga, is the reservoir of all conclusive knowledge in devotional service. He empowered Ramananda, who may be likened to a cloud of devotional service. And this empowerment is therefore all its initiation is also a step of empowerment. Empowered by a disciplic succession, or to anchor on every hand, as much as we can. Just like a cloud, it appears that rain comes from the cloud. The same thing with Krishna and Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni was the instructing spiritual master of the Lord Krishna. And it is said he was also just like that cloud. The cloud pours down rain onto the dry land. But where does it get that water from? It gets it from the ocean. Lord Chaitanya or Lord Krishna, they are the ocean. The cloud was filled with all-conclusive purports of devotional service and was empowered by the ocean to spread this water over the sea, so every devotee in this movement, they're actually following in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. If we're following, one can be empowered to spread this message of Krishna consciousness. As Lord Chaitanya also explains in the Adi Leela of this Chaitanya Charitamrita in chapter 8 or 9, something like that, how he is the gardener. He's asking us all, how many fruits can he alone eat? He's asking us all to take us up. So we don't have another garden. Just viewing from the edge there. There we go. But he is sprinkling water over everyone with the intention, Hare Krishna. Sorry there's not a garland, please forgive us. With the intention of, you could say, relieving the burning, blazing fire of material existence. So this is a major step in that direction, and in the platform of Bhajana Kriya, where the understanding is that we have to pass over another stage called Anartha Vritti to attain pure devotional service. Anartha Vritti is the stage of removal of all unwanted desires or other things, that which is superfluous or not required for the ultimate execution of devotional service. They have to be cleansed or removed from our karma. They may be there, but we're not, so to speak, cultivating them. We're not maintaining them. We're not, entertaining them. They may be there just like rivers flow into the ocean, but will become staged. So initiation is the stage, generally speaking, although it's already in process, work in process. To come from Anishtita Vajana Kriya to Nishta Vajana Kriya. Anishtita Vajana Kriya is unsteady practice of devotional service, up and down. And Nishta is when that, although it's still practicing, although we may still have, we can say, rather disturbing thoughts sometimes in the mind, our devotional service is becoming steadier under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master. And that is the powerful process of removing all the anarthas from our minds, all the unwanted desires. When our devotional service is steady, rising early in the morning, steady, chanting 16 rounds. Oh, excuse me, I'm not supposed to say that. I did it again. You didn't hear that, okay? Chanting on our beats every day, a regulated number of rounds, and more whenever possible, following the various principles, regulated principles of freedom, and associating favorably with the devotees, rendering service as much as one's capacity and time allows, etc., studying the Vaishnava scriptures given by our Acharya. All these various activities, especially if done in a regulated way, helps to remove these anarthas. They come up, but they'll be gradually, let's say, if we don't feed someone, Prabhupada said, they go away. So they'll go away, they're like dissolved, or just fade into the background. And then one comes into more steady stages of devotion service. Now I'm going to read a wonderful verse. 867. If you're here, probably haven't got a Chaitanya Charitamrita, you've got on your boat. Now this is interesting verse. After its long discussion, thank you, long discussion with Lord Chaitanya asking Ramananda Roy the perfection of human life. And he came up with all the Vedic answers. Everything was in Shastra, and everything was relevant according to time and circumstance. But Lord Chaitanya was not satisfied. He said, this is all external. I want to hear more. What is the real perfection of life? That's only stepping stones, you know. Even Sarvadharma Chakya, he said, even still more than that. What does that mean? These various verses, they're Yat Karoshi Dashnasi, they're offering everything to Krishna. There's still some degree of, let's say, seeing oneself in the center there. It's still external. And he wanted Ramananda Roy to go to the internal platform. And so this is a very wonderful verse spoken by Ramananda Roy, originally spoken by Lord Chaitanya, by Lord Brahma. After Lord Brahma had made a bit of a mistake in calculating the position of Krishna, and when he came to his senses, he then offered wonderful prayers in the 10th canto, 14th chapter. So many important prayers are there. Very important prayers. And this is one of them. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Ame prayasam mudapasya manta eva. Jivanti samukaritam bhavadiya virvatam. Stane stitashukritam kanavam manogir. Ye prayashoti katito kasipaistilokyam. Quite a famous verse. And this verse is the one that Lord Chaitanya said, yes, I accept this verse. Because it opens the gateway to pure, unadulterated devotional service. And it's very relevant. Listen carefully. Lord Brahma said, this is Ramananda Roy, continuing. He said, Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths, should hear from self-realized souls, or devotees, about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and remain free from, and I won't say what those four things are, because it's exactly what we're going to ask you in a little while. Those four things that you have to know. Surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind, they can live in any ashram or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such persons, although you are always unconquerable. So this is a very important part of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. He's hearing from somebody who's considered by the caste conscious persons as basically a Shudra. But he is the teacher of all of us. He's practically the original teacher of the Shankara or whatever. And, it doesn't matter. Anyone can be elevated. The actual process of initiation, anyone can be elevated to the topmost position and be empowered by the Lord to do the impossible. The Lord isn't conquered by such persons. He's unconquerable, but he's conquered by those devotees who are in this mood. They're not thinking, let me change this, but they're just in whatever situation they're in. They're dedicating themselves to try to serve the Lord, to hear about the wonderful past and to associate with the Lord, and they've given up. One of perhaps the biggest obstacle on the path of devotional service is Mayavad philosophy. There are two things, bhakti and mukti. These are like two witches which torment, they just prevent us, practically speaking, from progressing to pure devotional service. The devotional service remains mixed, and if we're not careful, especially if mukti is the incentive, we're trying to impose mukti with the desire of merging into the spiritual oneness as our objective goal, or not understanding our position as the eternal servant of the servants servant, etc. Or we want to imitate the devotees of the Lord, or we want to become Mother Yashoda, or we want to become Arjuna. This is all influence of Mayavad philosophy. They're subtle as well, very subtle. Prabhupada talked a lot about it in 1966 in the devotees book. He had some problem with some weird people in India. They didn't know what he was talking about, Mayavad. Because some people had an argument with him, he couldn't get it off his mind or something. But it wasn't. Prabhupada was actually explaining this because we're all affected by it in this material world. Seeing ourselves in the center as the enjoyer. It's basically perverted Mayavad. Or the other one, bhakti, is that we're motivated in our devotional service for material returns. Name, fame, prestige, reward, position, recognition. This is a plot. What's going on here? Hey, turn him off. He's going overtime already. Hey, Krishna. Hey. The sound system appears to have stopped working. They didn't have sound systems in Ramananda Roy's time. Not this time. What to speak of the Bhagavatam, it was spoken by Sudhir Goswami in front of 88,000 sages. They didn't have microphones, loudspeakers. They weren't standing on each other's heads, straining their ears. He wasn't screaming his head off. Because they were all pure in heart, they were pure in mind. They could hear very easily. There was no interference in their minds. Every one of us here today has probably got at least 100,000 thoughts on their mind right now, dragging us all over the place. And then the atmosphere is surcharged with contamination. It's very hard to hear. It's full of all kinds of mobile phones, this thing, that thing. I've got probably the Skype will start buzzing in a few minutes on my computer here. So many vibrations disturbing the environment. Very hard in this Kali Yuga. We have to do whatever we can to assist that hearing process. This hearing and chanting is the primary process. We have to hear carefully the holy name. And if we want to come to Shuddhanam, pure chanting of the holy name, we have to hear it carefully. That's what clears away. If we hear attentively, Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the inattentive chanting causes all the other offenses to arise. They're already there. The seeds are already there. And inattentive chanting allows them to grow up into weeds, which basically cloud us, strangle us practically. It's like the root of all the other, not the root, they're already there, but it awakens them, it allows them to manifest. So attentive chanting keeps them like drowning out the weeds. They can't grow, the seeds can't grow if the soil is drowned, it's soaked. That was the end of that. It was good while it lasted. Thank you. Now we'll have to speak in my turn up the volume of Krishna. He's given us a sound box. We have to turn it up sometimes. Yes, we have to do the needful. We're not this body. This body is given to us by Krishna. And initiation also means to realize that and to learn how to use that in Krishna's service. We're not the body. It's an instrument. So like that. We have to try to chant the holy name with attention. Now, no matter who we are, nothing to do with where we're born, man or woman, black or white, old or young, brown or blue. Doesn't make any difference what we are. Educated or uneducated. Whatever we are, everybody is eligible to come to pure devotional service. We just have to go through the right process. Srila Prabhupada describes the right process of coming to pure chanting of the holy name. He speaks it. I can show it to you. I can put a PowerPoint on about it. Prabhupada clearly says the process is you must be properly initiated to come to Shuddhanam. If you're not properly initiated, you can chant and chant. But that is the process whereby why we're not properly initiated. There may be good reasons, but in due course of time, that is a requirement. Otherwise, if there's on our part there's a blockage, then there's still something we're hanging on to. And maybe there's not yet the time, whatever. Eventually that has to come
to get that mercy, that this session, the Paramparas, mercy coming down through us so we can truly connect and burn out all these anarthas from our heart. They have to be burned out from our hearts, cleansed out. And this is the process. We take shelter of the disciplinate succession of all of our acharyas. They are there to empower us, to purify us if we follow their instruction as faithfully as we can. That is the process. Now, a later verse in this chapter is also a very interesting verse, important verse. 1-8. This emphasizes this very point, spoken also by Ramananda Roy. And it's also spoken elsewhere, of course. Kiva vipra kivanyasi shudakeni nai ye Krishna tattva veta se guru hai. Whether one is a Brahmin, sannyasi, or Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. We have to know this is science. It's not just some philosophy or some philosophy, of course. But it's scientific, it's proven. But we have to practice it. Science is only science, it is a fact. But Krishna consciousness is a living realization. It actually is to be experienced. It's not just something we talk about, preach about, hope about. We have to practically apply it. Initiation is the confirmation that we're willing to really apply this. And especially at Nam Diksha today, the essential, let's say, subject matter usually discussed is how we can come to Shuddha Nam. Shuddha Nam means the pure chanting of the holy name. When one first comes, one has anarthas. One is maybe offensive, knowingly or unknowingly offensive. Now, when one is knowingly offensive, and that means when one has particularly impersonal motivations or desires to attain material things from devotional service, then one is basically on a very blocked platform of advancement. One cannot advance very much. The best you'll get are material things and impersonal liberation. Now there's another stage where we are still offensive, but we're not motivated like that. We are desiring to become freed of the offenses. Nama Abbas. Nama Aparad is when our motivation is predominantly material or mayavad, impersonal. Nama Abbas is we're recognizing that we do have varieties of offenses, anarthas and offenses, etc. And we are trying to follow the process which cleanses or removes those obstacles on our path of devotional service. As we've already mentioned that. Proper execution of devotional service under the guidance of the Parampara, which includes the devotees who we are serving with, our temple president, our senior Vaishnavas, any devotee who's guiding us on the path. They have to be respected. They are also our gurus, helping to help us to make progress towards pure chanting of the holy name of Krishna. All the services, the daily worship, the cleansing of the temple, the distribution of books, the going, this service, that service, the management, everything is there to facilitate or to prepare us so that we can come to pure devotional service. Because we come with our baggage, the baggage has to be cleansed, and by engaging it wherever possible in devotional service. Sometimes we have to tolerate certain things, but as much as possible engage our talents in Krishna service where they are favorable. So how to come to that? As we've already mentioned, Srila Prabhupada describes that pure Shuddhanam means that chanting which is without offenses. And in the holy chanting of the holy name, there are dasaparad, 10 offenses to be avoided. Maybe some of you know them. Maybe, I don't know, I know them very well because I commit them every day. I know them at the back of my hand. What's the first offense? Blaspheme who? Devotees. What type of devotees? Dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. Well, we mentioned that last week. I can therefore reason that you have not dedicated your life to propagating the holy name of the Lord. Therefore I can blaspheme you. good justification. No. We're in no position to justify things in that way. First of all, our imperfect vision to judge such a thing anyway. And secondly, anyone who's chanting the holy name of the Lord, practically speaking, or at least those who are some way or another serving under the direction of one who has dedicated themselves, has to be respected according to their connection to one who has dedicated. And if we blaspheme, or if we're envious or critical of them, then we're basically envious, critical, and blasphemous of their master. We have to be very, very careful. We should avoid this. It's very dangerous. Sometimes it crops up because of, our air conditioning and so on and so forth. It does crop up, but we have to have a very repentant heart and beg for their forgiveness if such a thing does occur. What's the second offense? We have to glorify them. And the opposite to that is to actually serve them and glorify them. What's the second offense? Thank you. To consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. That's a big subject. It basically also includes impersonalism, Mayavad philosophy. Therefore, sometimes it's said this is the greatest offense. Usually we just take it as it says, but it goes much deeper. To think they're all one. We're all one. There's no God. We're all God. They're all God, etc. It's all one. Very dangerous. Third offense? Disobey the orders of the Spirit. It speaks for itself. He's actually in line of disciplic succession. It means we're disobeying Krishna's instruction. Simple as that. Krishna has told us, explained to us, we have to approach the spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, render service, follow the instructions, etc. If we don't do that, then obviously we're disobeying Krishna, if we're actually in bona fide discipline. Fourth offense? Yes, even though we may not be able to understand it, it may be ahead of us, it may be at the sideline, it may not be seemingly relevant, it may be whatever it may be, but if it's actually a scripture following the Vedic version, even though it may be child scripture or somebody's far more advanced, we may not be able to follow it, but we should not in any way blaspheme or criticize. Understanding its net relevance, its position according to those who it's relevant to. So we should, in that way, we should respect them. But we should also learn how to accept those scriptures or those scriptural injunctions which are relevant to us. Sometimes we try to jump ahead too far, or we stay stuck at a certain level. That's the way it was. Mother was born naked, therefore mother should always be naked. It's not like that. It's a progression. We have to understand that. That's why we need also spiritual masters to help us to understand how to move stage by stage to the next stage. Otherwise, it's niyama agraha, remaining attached to the rules and regulations simply for the sake of it, not willing to make advancement, not willing to actually surrender accordingly. What's the fifth offense? I'm sure you were right. Were they right? Go ahead. Were they right? They were. Okay, good. He's the judge. Every event you have to have one Brahmin judge, right? Yes. What is it again? Consider the words of chanting Hare Krishna for the imagination, is that right? Sometimes we hear so many glories about the effects of the holy name and so many things. Everyone's going to be drowned in the holy name, so on and so forth. We may not be able to see it with our imperfect senses, but it's going on. And it just may take a little time. That's what everyone is touched by the transcendental sound vibration. It's actually on the path to liberation. They're already basically on the shore being drowned in the nectar of the Sankirtan movement. Anyone, on who they are, even the drunkards, even non-devotees, practically, maybe a little time after a few punches, but they'll get there. They're already there. The holy name is in this age, particularly any age, but specifically in this age, is the sole process of delivering the living entities from their birth and death in this world, from their ignorance. And anyone who comes comes in contact with it, it's just beyond it. We haven't got that divine vision to see how it's going on. How the Lord is, reciprocating with those living entities to take them back to Godhead. It's not an ordinary thing. The glory of the prophet describes in next devotion, although it may be seen in some cases. It may not always be seen, because there's a quality involved. It may take time before that quality evolves to become pure. But it's a working process, unright mango, right mango. This takes a little time. What's the sixth offense? To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. We don't interpret it. We accept what the Shastras say, what the Guru and Sadhus say, what the actual meaning of the holy name is. It's not subjected to our interpretation. The name Krishna is Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is also a name, you could say, of Krishna, but it is also non-different than Krishna. And we don't interpret it. We accept that. Shastric injunction, Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Vinadvannamanamino, that it is non-different than the names. And this is one of the basic understandings of those who are cultivating devotional service, is to remember this. That when we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're not doing something to get something, we're associating with Krishna himself. Can you imagine if we could remember that? Now, if you're associating with your, say, with your family, your children, you give all attention. I hope when you have that responsibility to give time to the children, you give them all your attention. You turn off the TV when it's necessary. You put the mobile on sleep mode, or whatever you call it, silent mode. Maybe. Should do. You've got to give all attention to the important persons in your life. Take it away. You can't depend upon modern technology. Anyway, you've got to give them all attention. Otherwise they'll feel they won't be satisfied. You're going for a job interview. You have to give all attention. You don't sit there with your feet up on the table smoking a cigarette. Hey, how you doing, mate? He's asking a question, so tell me your qualifications. Why are you asking me that? Mind your own business. I've got more important things to do to answer a stupid question like that. I got to talk to someone on the mobile. Just be quiet a minute whilst I make my phone call. What's in your cup? No, you give all attention. You're on full guard. Otherwise, you're never going to get the job. No way. Similarly, we should try to understand that. We should try to give this attention. Understand that the holy name is Krishna. We're associated with Krishna. This is our time with Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna. What better association do we want than to associate with devotees who are remembering this, who help us to remember this point, that this is our actual... how can we understand our good fortune that Srila Prabhupada has given us this chance to associate with Radha and Krishna? Where are we coming from? Where are you coming from? Mauritius, right? They come from Mauritius. It's dead. Everything dies in time. Some things die quicker than others. We don't know when we're going to die. We've got to be ready right now. We can't say, oh, wait till I get older and I finish all this and that. You don't know, any moment it can happen, right? Death doesn't wait. Oh, can you hold on? I'm a bit busy right now. Come back in 100 years' time. Death comes with strikes when the time is right. We've got to be ready, prepare ourselves. We have the chance to associate. It's only the association of Krishna that can save us. And this is a real, wonderful chance. Remember it when we're chanting Hare Krishna. This is our time with Krishna. Maybe the rest of the way. When others come along and say, hey, come here, Jiva. Don't you remember those times when we walked and had fun when we were in Mauritius on the beach? Don't you remember? Going up the mountains, picking those pineapples and having a fine time there walking around in Mauritius in the nice sun. Come on, let's go and do it again. Come on. I'm a little busy right now, my friends. Come back in a few hours' time. I'm busy with Radha and Krishna. Come back later. Come back later. Just tell them. Don't. They may be a bit angry if you say, "Go away, get out of my life." They may become a little angry. No, just say, "Go, go, go. Just come. Just try it. Check it out in a few hours. I'm busy right now. It's like if someone comes on your door or someone phones up. I'm a bit busy now. Can you call back in an hour or two?" Just focus on what we're doing as much as you can. Bring it back on the holy name. Try to focus our consciousness on the holy name of Krishna, Radha Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everything will come. The heart will become purified. Empowerment will come. Realizations will come. We'll maybe understand a little bit what our duty in life is also. And how to relate to other devotees. And how to see situations which, materially speaking, are just too much. To see everything, how it is related to Krishna. In even the world situation, why this is happening, why that's happening. Devotees getting it all this way, you know. Understanding everything has its part to play to help elevate us to Krishna consciousness. But if we don't see it, then how are we going to preach? How are we going to help anyone else to see it? Not really possible. You can pass something on. But to get that impression on people's hearts, we have to have that impression on our hearts. What's the seventh offense? Strength of chanting the holy name. It's kind of a very common one amongst many people, maybe amongst devotees also, that we still knowingly are doing things. We're not really making the right approach to remove those thoughts or those activities which are actually detrimental to devotional service, sinful or whatever they may be. Even identifying with the body is considered a sin. Not to speak of the other activities that evolve from that mentality. And we should, we may not be very, let's say, advanced or very evolved, or we may be very attached, we may be a little fallen, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. But at least we shouldn't be thinking, "Oh, never mind, Krishna, please forgive me for my sinful reactions. I'm going to carry on doing them anyway. And I'll just chant Hare Krishna and all's well," right? Okay? Not that. Something. But that's not the best thing. The proper approach should be, "Okay, we're a little fallen. My Lord, please, you know how full I am. Please help me to overcome these anarthas which are causing you disturbance. Oh, these aparad. Aparad means that which is really against Radharani. That's literally what the word means, aparad. Contrary to Radha. Displeasing to Radha. Please, please, my Lord, give me your mercy so I can become free of these tendencies, these attachments, etc." That prayer is appropriate. That prayer is a good prayer. Something along those lines. Not that, "Please just forgive me. I know I'm doing sins. I know you don't like it, but anyway, just forgive me for it. I'm going to do it again." Not the right answer. That's not actually in the path of pure devotion service. It's just basically what we can call it. Some vaguely pious mentality to approach God, but it's not even that really. It's a very selfish mentality. And it's very common. What's the eighth offense? Yes, consider the chanting Hare Krishna to be like one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are often in the Vedas as fruitive activities. It's not. This holy name, this chanting the holy names of Krishna has come. Golokara Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. It's come from the spiritual world. It is not for these other purposes. It is not for karma or moksha or bhukti. It is not for these purposes. You'll get that if that's what we want, if you're lucky. Unlucky. But it's not for those purposes. The chanting of the holy name is to awaken our eternal, loving relationship with Krishna. That's the purpose. Well, it's the ultimate sadhya or goal. Krishna Pamartha Mahan. It has come from the spiritual world. It is the Taraka Brahma Mantra to deliver us from all these other side ideas, all these perverted ideas of what we're here for, and to establish us in the absolute truth, the absolute path. Most people just think it's just another mantra. Oh yes, I chant my mantra, you chant your mantra, but it's not. This is the Yuga Dharma mantra. This is the highest mantra. It contains the benefits and effects of all other mantras. It's the original, the Adi mantra, you could say practically. It's the topmost mantra. Hare Krishna, Shriya. Will we see you later on? Maybe tomorrow. I'm going to be out all day after this. But tomorrow we'll see you, Krishna. through association. Hare Krishna. Have a good day. There's a training program going on for the pujaris, is that right? Pardon? Tomorrow. You're preparing it today. Oh, that's right. Today is the Vyasa Puja. Indradumna Maharaj Ki Jai! There you go. We wish we could be there with you. Hare Krishna. Can't be everywhere at once, can you? Krishna can. Don't forget, He is everywhere. He's with us wherever we are. Right? He's with us where He's seeing what we're doing. Sometimes I think, well, I wouldn't want to see what I'm doing. But anyway, Krishna's aware of everything that we're doing. You can't get away with it. Oh, no one's watching. I can watch the TV whilst I chant my japa. No one's watching. No one's watching. Bit of Maya here, bit of Maya there. No problems. No one notices anyway. And no one ever asks me about every chant my rounds anyway. So what difference does it make? Right? Sometimes nobody ever asks anymore. But Krishna sees. And that's the real church. That's the real one. So this Mahamantra is coming to this ritual as a lifeline. Krishna's come as a lifeline to give us the chance. Just hold on to the Mahamantra. Everything will come. All purposes are served by the great reservoir water. You don't need to go through all these other things, rituals, this thing, that thing. You know, there's so many things that Hindus, Christians, they all have got all their rituals. It's okay for that stage. But when one comes to this opportunity, there's no time for all these things. We've got such a, wow, what an opportunity, such an important business to perform, to absorb ourselves and give everyone else the chance to absorb themselves in this greatest good fortune. We haven't got time to waste. What's the ninth offense? To instruct a faithless person. Faith is relative. It's according to one's faith. You instruct people according to their eligibility. Some people's faith is more evolved, so you can instruct on a higher level or a lower level, depending on what it is. Some people have no faith at all, so you're just trying to somehow or another touch them so that they become a little bit purified and gyata sakriti. You preach according to the person's eligibility. It's not black, white. Everyone's degrees of faith is there. And amongst devotees, therefore we don't preach Raganuga Bhakti to those who are not yet eligible, none of us who are eligible for Raganuga Bhakti. Prabhupada didn't preach it very much. It's there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's there in the Bhagavatam. But until one's eligible, that is not actually taught, it's not actually emphasized. It's just understood that that's the higher purpose, a higher level of devotional service. But prematurely getting into that is actually that's a really dangerous thing to do. Very dangerous. It can become very offensive also. And similarly, in other walks of life or in other places, people may not have very much. They may have any understanding of what is matter of spirit. And what we do, we go on Harinam Sankirtan. Haribol! Do you want to be happy, guys? Do you want to be happy? Yeah, they will say. Okay, give it a go. Come on, you ready? You willing to give it a go? Come on, give it a go. Come on, put your hands up. Come on, give it a try. Have a bit of fun. Are you drunk? Okay, put your hands up. You can do it. Okay, after me. Hurry! Hey, hurry! Hurry, go. That's all they do. Don't tell them anything about what it is. Just get a chat. Hey, and here's something else for you. Take one of these. Here's a cookie. Hey, eat it. It's really nice. I made it myself. Have one. Whatever it is, someone or another, give them some Agyata Sakriti. Hey, you want to throw in a few pice, a few rupees, a few dollars, help with their free food distribution? Something or other. You've got to find a way of getting that Agyata Sakriti into them. You start preaching philosophy, they all walk away. Immediately. One or two may stand there arguing. You've got to give them what is relevant. Preaching has to go on, but it's according to the level of adhikar, the individual. What's the 10th offense? To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments even after understanding or hearing so many instructions on this matter. We've heard so many things and still we're attached, isn't it? How many times do we have to know it? How many times do we have to learn the lessons, right? You go through, you get into something, oh God, I'm never going to do that again, no. And then again, boom. Association, repentance, mercy. And the key is the association, but the attentive chanting, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Harinam Chintamani, it is impossible for the jiva to single-handedly overcome the illusion of inattention. It is impossible. So don't get too, hard on yourself. He said it's not possible. This material energy, our conditioning is so strong. But he said the only way this is possible is by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore one must fervently pray for the Lord's mercy. There is no other way of release for the jiva. So in all these issues, we make our effort sincerely to try to follow as best as we can. Just like today, we're having Fire Yajna, right? And there will be some things which are not quite appropriate according to the Vedic standards, right? For instance, what is the Yogishal? What is the kun made of?
That's metal.
Metal. What type of metal is it?
It's looks like
galvanized iron.
galvanized, yeah.
Some kind of, it's not a pure metal, is it?
No.
No.
So Vedically speaking, everything has to be 100% pure. It's not correct. Maybe you're not sitting in, I don't know, maybe you are, sitting in exactly the right position. Maybe the mantras are not 100% correct according to Sanskrit. Maybe the direction, maybe the time is not quite right. Maybe it's the Rahu color right now. No. So many things. Maybe our judge is not 100% aware of what's going on. Maybe you just touch your nose during the yajna. Maybe there's a baby back there with its finger in its mouth. Maybe an adult with a finger in their mouth, biting their nails or something back there. Watch your fingers. Maybe you touch your leg. Maybe you've got some sewn cloth on. Take your sewn cloth off. No. There's so many things, right, according to the Vedic standard. They're incorrect. Completely incorrect. You can't do it in this age of Kali. It's not practically speaking. We depend upon the Lord's mercy. We're performing the yoga. This is to solidify, to impress upon our hearts, to attract people, to help people to realize we're not just some sentimental fools. This is based on Vedic principles, although Vedic principles can hardly be followed. The Pancharatrika system given by Narad is there, but even that is very hard to follow in many ways. So therefore, Lord Vamanadev, the Lord in his form of a dwarf Brahmin, the Prabhupada says this should be discussed at all sacrifices, this pastime, to make them successful. I'm only going to take talk on one point of those things. I'm not going to talk on the whole pastime, it's too long. But at the end of that pastime, after Vamana had taken everything away from Bali Maharaj, basically speaking, Bali Maharaj was feeling pretty good after that. He thought, now I fulfill my promise. And that, by the way, is not really pure devotional service. Although he's known Atmani Vedana, one who gives everything to the Lord, can't touch me. Although he's known as the one who gave everything, he's actually not on the highest platform of devotional service. He may be, but his actions were not. Because he's still thinking, I'm giving something. I fulfilled my promise. I'm satisfied now. But his wife in Javali said, you fool. He called him a fool. He said, you're still thinking you have owned anything to give in the first place. You don't have anything. Don't you understand that head doesn't belong to you? That universe never did belong to you. It belonged to him all along. Your foolishness was you were thinking it belonged to you, and now your foolishness is you're thinking you're giving it to him. But it was not yours to give. We have nothing to give. Everything belongs to Krishna. So that the expertise is to try to engage whatever it is. It may be little or a lot, it may be this way, that way. Is to learn how to do that for Krishna. For his pleasure, we learn in the association of devotees, hearing in the association of devotees, how to do that. How to engage what Krishna's given us for Krishna's pleasure. Like that. That is the process of devotional service. So, anyway, where did we get to? What was the point about buying much? Is that the point? Oh no, the point was mercy of the Lord. So, Shukracharya, Lord Vishnu called Shukracharya over and said, look, you know, why do you curse him like this? What was his fault? Poor guy. He was trying to do what I wanted. You know who I am. Shukracharya knows quite well Vishnu's God. He's not a demon. He's just a demigod, the demon's guru. That's all. He has to act like that. He's fully self-realized, practically speaking. So he said, my Lord, Mantatas tantatas chidram deha kalavaspadam. He said, my Lord, there is no fault. Even though the mantras are wrong, even though the paraphernalia is wrong, even though the direction is wrong, the time is wrong, the place is wrong, the priest is wrong, everything's wrong. He said, nischidram. Everything becomes faultless because tas anusankirtanam tava. Everything becomes faultless because your holy name has been chanted. Everything becomes faultless. So similarly in this yajna, which we've had a few minutes time to begin, we're going to request you all please to participate with all your hearts. This is how we really give a blessing to these two Vaishnavas today who are taking these vows. How we make the atmosphere pure. We're having 4 devotees read in a few minutes from 4 corners, 4 Vedas. Right? You ready? You have to check on them, make sure their pronunciation is all correct, okay? Right. And we have a kirtan party. Do we have a madanga here? Anyone madanga? Okay, there's one madanga. A nice gentle kirtan party somewhere a little bit back so it doesn't drown everything out, but nice kirtan where there's no other mantras being chanted, like Amrishwar Prabhu, then chant loudly, okay? Otherwise quietly, so we can hear what he's saying, etc. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai! Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhutale Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Pastachari Shikani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Sastha Bhakti Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. We can take this away, I think, really. It's just kind of like an obstacle on the path. Might well knock it out.
Is that typing?
Huh?
Is this typing? I just need a little.
Oh, it's taken. Wait for a while with the kirtan. We have 1 or 2 more little things to do, don't we? Is there 1 thing more to do before the fireworks? Is the fire working? Is it going to work? I hope the fire works. In more ways than one. Okay, it burns up all that, whatever token reactions are there. This time I get brain fried. I forget it.
Is that coming?
Right. So on this very auspicious day, we're going to call upon the 2 Vaishnavas, starting with, who's first? You want to come together? Do they come together? Is that how you normally do it, husband and wife together?
Has to be individual.
No, I mean, they can't sit together. We sat 3 at a time when I went. Initially. Okay, that didn't mean I wasn't married. Okay, we'll do it 1 at a time, so we'll call Vinay Prabhu first. Please offer your full obeisances in front of Radha Vallabha, Trivikram Prabhu, Gaurnitai, Haridas Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and of course they represent our succession. Say your prayers nicely, with both hands on the floor as you as you bow down, Dandavat. Both hands on the floor when you pay your Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Both hands on the floor when you pay your Dandavat. Prabhupada told me this when I took initiation. 3 times he told me, when you pay your obeisance, 3 times he said, make sure both your hands are on the floor. And don't hold anything in them. If anything, it can be on top at most. If your beat bag, pop it on top of the hands if possible. But better not, although you sometimes see Prabhupada do it. Sometimes you have no choice, it's really difficult. But as much as possible, Prabhupada, you put your both hands on the floor and pay your obeisances nicely. And the mantras we chant should be not that we just and they should be actually verbal, it should be audible, not loud so that everyone else is, you know, Namo But they should be, you know, it should be to hear it. And it's very important. Prabhupada in Malaysia, when you were to work from Moga Prabhu, used to be here. Right? You know Moga quite well. Some of you know Moga Prabhu. When he was in Malaysia, he was in the car in Penang, and he was talking to him, he was in the back, he was talking to him, Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami. He was offering his obeisances, and Prabhupada could tell that he was doing it sincerely. And he turned around and he said, if you offer your obeisances sincerely like this, you can go back to God.
He's coming next week.
Huh?
He's coming next week.
Is he coming next week for the 40th? I won't be here, but anyway, wonderful. Where is he now?
Gold Coast.
He's up at the Gold Coast. I didn't see him up there. Good, wonderful. So now, I guess you did that already. Now you come here and do the same thing here, more or less. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Vinay is from Mauritius. He's been 9 years here. Huh? Yeah. 9 years, or more or less, here with his good wife, Mother Shimla. Here in, is that right, 9 years? Here in Australia. He works in the administration type of activities, would you say? Office administration, is that right?
Visa processing.
Huh?
Visa processing office.
Visa processing. Okay, more specific. Visa. Do you have any problem with your visas? We'll make sure you have more problems. Okay. Visa is very useful. Hare Krishna. So would you like to come a little bit closer? Otherwise you might not be able to hear me. Sit down. Relax. Here's the beads. I've heard from your friends, and you have many friends, that he very much likes Lord Nrsimhadev. Last week was the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, is that right? Now Lord Nrsimhadev, sometimes people think, of what have we got to do? We're trying to develop love of Radha Krishna. So what have we got to do with Lord Nrsimhadev? Of course we know, Bhagavatam is a lot of pastimes of Lord Nrsimhadev are explained in the 7th canto and other places too. And many times, even Lord Chaitanya would speak a lot about Lord Nrsimhadev with general devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if ever you've been to Mayapur, another week, you may have been to Nrsimhapalli, and there is a deity of Lord Nrsimhadev where it said that he went to wash his clothes, his nails, after he'd had his lunch. Whatever it was. And he's praying. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was praying to Lord Nrsimhadev to please remove the obstacles on our path to awaken a love for Radha Krishna. Just like the demons have to be killed. Om Namo Bhagavate Narashinga Namaste Jaste Jase Avira Bhava Bajunaka Bajudam Shakarnashan Vandaya Vandaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Vishtom Shram. But with those sharp nails and teeth, I'm not going to give you a name. What who has sharp teeth, sharp nails. But with those sharp nails, please tear out all of my material narratives. Remove them from my heart. We all approach Lord Nrsimhadev, otherwise how we can progress to pure devotional service? We can't jump over with a dirty heart. He's the form of the Lord who's so kindly, rather than Krishna himself, expanding himself in this way to remove the dirt from him. Well, they tell me, I haven't seen the other side with me. I haven't been on the football field yet, the soccer field, to see the other side. He's a soccer coach. Is that right? I also used to be a soccer referee. Truth has come out. Wait. Anyway, we all have to sometimes use enthusiastic passions. Generally understand, at least from your friends. and what I've seen over the years, he's a very gentle soul. Would you say so back to that?
Yes, I would.
Thank you. Confirmed by your Welsh. Back to that. Knows you very well. So the gentle soul, sober, try to follow in this movie. And by the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev, sober doesn't just mean no liquor. Sober means actually not identifying ourselves with this material body, being mad, trying to fulfill material desires, etc. But being not dispartious unto dearest community, not being disturbed by these things. So by the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev, just like the Lord Maharaj, he was not disturbed, despite the Lord was in a fierce form. Everyone else was afraid. Even Lakshmi was afraid. The Lord was not. He was fearless. Because, to say, he had no material desires, no material motivation. He'd taken shelter of the Spirit. So we want you to try to cultivate this more and more mood of service to the Vaishnavas in a sober way. So what are the four regulated principles?
No repeating, no intoxication, no illicit sex.
Very good. No more crown, okay? Never been. It was the first time. So make sure there's no first time, okay? Unless you're asked to go to the free. How many rounds? Please, Java.
More than 16 rounds.
More than 16? Did you hear that? That's not what you're supposed to say, is it? More than 16 rounds? Are you allowed to do that? You're allowed to chant more than 16 rounds? I thought that was the law, not more than 16 rounds. Right? I thought the law was finished. Thank God I finished my round. Thank God I finished my round. In Prabhupada's own words, he said, now, Prabhupada said this, he said, now I can do any damn thing I like. Very nice, thank you for that. More. No, at least, anyway, at least 16 rounds. Minimum. Not necessarily maximum. It's interesting because that's a duty. Now, Vai means dutiful, right? We're doing it as duty. So now we want to go a little further, just think about it. Voluntarily, you're chanting more. This is one of the ways that you can actually evoke the mercy of the Lord more. It's already good you're doing 16, or whatever you do, whatever you can do. That's all good. But even more so, be increased. Why do you increase? You don't have to increase. You're doing your vow. I did it. I've done it. But increasing means, therefore, you have more faith in the holy names. More opportunity. You're more surrender. So please, that's very good. And on the Kadashi, more? How many? More than 16. As many as you can. Don't worry about it. As many as you can. There's no hard and fast rule on that one. Prabhupada indicated 25, but it wasn't a rule. Well, what do we do? What name? Anyone got any suggestions? Back to Das. What do you think? Back to Das.
No.
Back to Das. I got two names, so but I've chosen one because I spoke to Achintya Rupa just before we came in here, and she thought one of those names. She immediately said, is that right? Your name is Dira Nrsimha Prabhu. Now, I said Prabhu because I'm speaking, but actually you have to understand that your name is Das. Das. You have one of the way you call them Das, Anu Das. I was thinking of that one, but I chose it. Dira Nrsimha. We're all Das. That's their surname. Or Dasi. That's their family name. There, and then also the my foot, my leg was just about to crack. I didn't put it in that day. Dear Nishika Prabhu, Jai! Haribo! Put the beads around. Actually, I've got a bead back here. This is yours. Hey, look at that. I wouldn't even look at it. It's got a picture of Nishingadev on the bead bag. Confirmation. Put around his neck. Hare Krishna. Same thing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. They're children. They've got 3 children. Where are they all? Where's Dashini? Where's Dashini? No. Okay, and over here is Rohan. And where's your other daughter? Shania? Shania? Shania. Shania. So they're here today, all of you, in front of Srila Prabhupada, in front of the deities, here in this holy place, this Mahaprabhu Mandir. Please bless these devotees today, that they may become more and more dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. I'm just acting on behalf of Prabhupada to give this opportunity for them to be initiated into a disciple succession and take the responsibility to help guide them on their path of devotional service, as all of us here can take that responsibility too, and take specific responsibility therein. So please share your blessings on these devotees today, that they may become more and more, say, pleasing members of the community as well as here in Melbourne. Hare Krishna. What are the 4 regulated principles? Thank you. And how many rounds a day? At least 16 rounds of Kadashi. And their wonderful children are also chanting. You chant Japa Rohan? How many rounds? 4. Very good. Wonderful. Machine? You are very busy with your studies, right? Extremely busy. It's very, very busy when you're children. And it's very busy for the mother who has to look after 3 growing children. You know how intense it is in its life. But please always try to keep that chanting going. Always. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And these are the beads you chose. They're very sweet little beads. It's not the size of the beads you chant. Some of us like to have big beads like this. You know. So I thought of a nice name. She also, Mother Shimra is also very, is she peaceful? Is she gentle?
Yes.
Silence.
Yes.
I'm afraid to say the truth. Is everybody, I'm sure she's dear to everyone. So, your name is Sama Priya Devi Dasi. Sama Priya Devi Dasi ki! Srila Prabhupada ki jai! Hare Krishna. And you also have a feedback. Very pretty. They provide the feedbacks too. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll proceed now on to the yajna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, we're going to have now the readings can begin and the kirtan can begin. Okay, please, those who are doing the kirtan, who's leading? Who's leading? Who's the sweet kirtaniyas? Please lead the kirtan.
As I chant,
Should we move a little closer?
cut